Hey everybody, it's Alex here, and on today's episode of the YaBonks Show, I have two very special guests and good friends of mine. I have Sam and Adam from OrcaFi, and they are also from Hydrowhales, Project 79, and that entire ecosystem of projects. Most of you are probably familiar with them already from my Project 79 video I did last year when I went to Dubai with these guys. So, Sam, Adam, do you want to say hi to the audience and let everybody know a little bit about yourselves?
Hey everyone, I'm Sam. I know YaBonks. Thank you very much for having us on the show again. Always a pleasure. So I'm one of the co-founders of, or the initial founders, which I will dive into a little bit how that works of OrcaFi, but also one of the co-founders of the Hydrowhales Mining Club and Project 79. And, you know, as we've been developing our ecosystem over the last 18 months or so, we've been building out a lot of different roles and different platforms, with OrcaFi coming out as one of the newer ones. And we're really excited to introduce it and get into a little bit more detail.
Awesome. What about you,
Hi,
Adam?
everyone. My name's Adam. Again, one of the co-founders and lead developers for all the apps you're going to be seeing over the coming weeks and months. So any questions about the application, just let me know.
Awesome. And today we are mainly going to focus on OrcaFi. I know you guys have so many other big things going on with Hydrowhales and Ocean Money and Burlcore and all that stuff. So do you guys want to give a brief overview or elevator pitch about OrcaFi specifically?
Definitely. So OrcaFi itself is a decentralized financial platform that's designed just to make your life navigating the crypto space a lot easier. So we identified there's kind of a diverse range of needs for everyone in the crypto space, whether it be needing to just bridge or swap, whether you're wanting to trade or access NFTs. But we found that across multiple different platforms, you're having to track down all of these. And, so we decided to actually build out a solution that's an all-in-one platform that offers all of these. And even greater is we have a lot of, we utilize a lot of aggregated technology so that we can actually pull from multiple different other platforms and smart contracts. So then you don't need to go searching for this. We want OrcaFi to be that centralized platform or the decentralized platform, but that central app where everything is there, located, all in a single place for you to use and manage your DeFi experience on there.
Awesome. That great overview of OrcaFi. And before we really dive into everything that comprises OrcaFi, do you guys have any special dates or announcements that you want to let the audience know about before we dive into all that?
That's a good question. So we are looking to put the entire OrcaFi platform live by the end of this year. So we have a wide range of apps. So you'll see almost now, I think, next week, there's going to be a service going live. The week after, there's going to be services going live. So it's now kind of going to be on an incremental release. So I do recommend that everyone follows our Twitter account, which is just at the OrcaFi. Because we'll be posting important updates and announcements on there. We don't have a Discord as of yet, but that may be opening up later this week or early next week as we roll out that first service. And we really encourage everyone to join that because we want community feedback, because this is a community-driven and community-led project, which I'm sure we'll get into in a little bit later. So any feedback we get, whether it be it user experience or user requests, is really great for us.
Awesome. And I will put the links to your Twitter account and whatever else you guys have in the description of this video.
Perfect.
So you guys can find these guys easily. And a lot of you, I'm sure, are already in the Hydrowhales Discord server as well, where you can find them as well. Also, if you're in the YaBonks Discord server, I'll make an OrcaFi channel in there. You can find all this information in my Discord server as well. Now, for somebody who is trying to understand what value OrcaFi can provide them as an end user or somebody who wants to make some money out here, what's the value proposition of OrcaFi for those two
brilliant
people?
Question. So for someone, using the platform itself, obviously one big thing is we have multiple services all on a single platform, and we utilize a lot of aggregated technology that we've built, ourselves in-house, which allows, you to be able to effectively be searching 10, 15 different DeFi platforms at once. For example, for the yield farming aggregator we built, it will search across multiple different platforms. So, yes, there's traditional aggregators like Beefy who aggregate themselves, but then, what if you want a Beefy and others? And what about other blockchains? We're aggregating this all into a single platform with the aim of becoming blockchain agnostic as well. So you'll be able to end up using the majority of blockchains on the OrcaFi platform. So whether you're an EVM fan or you want something a little bit different, you're going to have that there and available for you to use. Obviously, that's very big, wide range of services on there. And essentially just makes it your go-to application for DeFi. Just to save you time and obviously hopefully help you save some money and identify the right opportunities you want to get into. And of course, I guess one little thing we're working on as well to get out by Q1 2024 is actually a mobile application version of OrcaFi as well, just to make your DeFi experience a little bit easier as you're on the go. So instead of just needing your laptop all the time, hey, I want to check, how's my yield farmer going? There's a better opportunity. I can just switch, and it's a simple click of a button like that. So that's one big thing I think is going to be really, really useful. But for people looking to make money, within the crypto space and the DeFi space, there's a few ways actually. So on the platform itself, if you like trading, like many of us do, we will be having our own perpetual exchange where we have liquidity sources from multiple liquidity sources, which actually allows us to have very competitive fees. And obviously over time, as our volume increases on the platform and the perpetual exchange, we can actually then reduce them further. So we've got a lot of incentives to actually give back to the community and people using the platform. So we hope we can be actually, very competitive pricing on that. But of course, if trading's not your thing, we have the yield farming and staking aggregators. So then you can find opportunities which will be, a passive opportunity for you where you can provide liquidity into these different pools, or you can stake and lock up your cryptocurrencies in exchange for earning, a monthly or yearly interest on these, even daily interest. So a lot of these actually pay out daily. So you can have some advanced strategies. So we have been experimenting with our own yield farming program where we will basically find out the best ones for you, and we manage it on a daily basis through smart contracts. But that's something a little bit under the table for now. That's in the works.
That's cool.
So that'll be something again, kind of Q1 next year, because there's an awful lot of testing with regards to that. But I mean, it's almost, I guess you'd say, like a yield farming ETF. Everything's kind of just, you get into a little bit of everything, and it's managed on your behalf by us or by smart contracts, just on whatever's going to be performing the best. And obviously, smart contracts, lightning quick execution. So it's just a good technique and a good platform or a good strategy to potentially use, which is something we're working on. But on top of that, actually, we do have the DeFi trading bots. So these are actually built by quantitative traders working in partnership with OrcaFi. So it's not me and Adam here trading. Although, I have a bit of experience trading. These are professional quantitative traders that I work with, very large multi-billion-dollar funds. And of course, when these bots come out and are ready, they will have the details of who these traders are, this group of traders. So these traders are spread out across the world, but they are, quantitative traders with multiple years of experience and, obviously, like I said, billions of dollars managed under their belts. So they've got some significant experience, and they've just basically stepped out into the crypto space and have started experiencing, they enjoy the volatility of the market, because volatility for them means money.
Yeah.
So it's very good for us because they're looking to share their strategies through in the form of different bots. So we will have low risk and a medium risk bot. We're not doing high risk strategies. So yes, the quantitative traders did propose they can make significant monthly amounts, but obviously that comes at a much higher risk and higher drawdown. And we kind of collectively agreed as the founders of the platform that we don't want people to have their accounts completely drained and emptied by a wrong trade or two wrong trades. So we've stuck with the lower. And there is a medium risk as well, but I personally prefer the lower risk because it's slow and steady. You're still making very good returns. But we'll have a lot more details on that soon as well. I think we're trying to line up some interviews with the quantitative traders as well to kind of give an overview and maybe talk a bit about their strategies as well. So we're going to have some behind the scenes about, who's behind that. And I think, the other or the biggest piece, I guess, is, to get involved with the platform itself and to actually generate potential funds there as well, is through getting involved with the OrcaFi token. Now, over the next few weeks, we are going to be putting out some more details about the token. So in our current light paper, there's just a brief overview of the token, how it works, how the governance will work, and the structure of that. But the Orca token essentially stands at the heart of the OrcaFi platform and empowers and rewards the community that holds it. So not only does it provide you with governance and fee discounts on the platform as well, it actually entitles you to a share of the platform's revenue. So with the platform is going to be transitioned into a full DAO. Once we as the developers have completed the initial handoff and the initial development work, we'll hand that back off to the community and back to the DAO. So where then all dividends were essentially distributed based on the overall performance of the platform itself. So that's even more passive. If you're just holding this token, you can get reward, fees generated from all of the different services, not just yield farming. You can get fees generated from all of them, all into that token. So that's why it's a very big play for the DAO structure, and it has a very good ecosystem attached to it.
You just you threw a lot out there. So let me try to sum up.
Of course, we can backtrack. We can go through any bits you want to.
All right, so you guys tell me if I understood this correctly. For the value proposition for somebody like me trying to make some money out here, if I think OrcaFi is very cool and I believe in this thing, a few of the ways I can make money first is trading in the Perpetuals trading platform you're building that has aggregated liquidity across multiple sources. And for those who don't know, Perpetuals trading means like you're trading you can trade with leverage on margin and futures and stuff like that, correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Okay. So on our platform, we will have up to 20x initially. We do have capabilities to go up to 50x, but obviously that is very high leverage. And again, like we kind of ruled out the higher risk trading strategies from the quantitative team. We may rule that out as well because yes, you can make an awful lot of money, but yes, it's an even easier way to lose money because you're losing a fraction of points. You could be ruled out very quickly. Yeah. And personally, I'm not for seeing people lose money, be it even a small amount or a large amount. So we may steer clear of that for now, but of course that will be an option. So then obviously once we've handed this back to the community, then they could, with the DAO structure, they could then vote to impose, implement the 50x leverage. It could be done like that. But personally, I don't want to put that out there just yet.
So great little examples there for what Perpetuals trading is like for somebody who's not familiar with that concept yet. So yeah, you guys have the Perpetuals trading platform. So if somebody likes to trade, they have the potential to make money trading on your platform. Then there is the yield aggregator for yield farming and staking across multiple other platforms that you guys kind of allow people to interact with through proxy, all from one centralized place in a decentralized manner. Centralized user interface, I should say, but with decentralized smart contract technology behind it. All right, and then the other way is people can speculate on the Orca token, which it gets fed all of, well, not all, but gets fed platform fees into it to support the price and liquidity of the Orca token, I'm assuming. So people can buy and hold Orca tokens, plus they would get dividend-like reflections to wherever they're holding the Orca tokens every month based on your profits or whatever. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. So it'll be a distribution based on the overall fees generated by the platform. And obviously there'll be DAO governance involved in this about the amounts they want to distribute as a dividend back to the token holders. Because obviously, do they want to reserve some for some additional marketing? Do they want to reserve some, we've had, if there's feature requests, do we want to save some to reward our developers? Because obviously, people aren't going to develop for free. So we do have a range of incentives for developers coming on board to the platform, in exchange for obviously Orca tokens, but obviously, some people just I want a stable coin. I want some of the fee, stable coins for my fees. And if we're working with external agencies as well, then obviously stable coins it is for them. So there'll be, a good amount of governance in regards to that. But yes, majority of those fees will go straight back to token holders, essentially.
Okay, cool. And I believe I saw something also about you can stake the Orca token in a staking pool to generate additional Orca tokens. Is that right?
So yes, it's almost, I guess, you put it in a kind of a YaBonks staking aggregator. Yeah. Orca token at the top, sponsored post there. So yes, if you then locking up your Orca token and providing liquidity with it, then yes, you'll be able to earn from the rewards pool on that. So we're actually just finishing off the tokenomics for the rewards pool mechanisms. So, in that light paper, it's only literally just a single page on, the token, just giving an overview. So we do have some more advanced tokenomics coming out before we open up any sort of token sale. And this is going to be a small token sale. We're not going to do a massive one, just because, we ourselves as a team has done majority of the work already. So, we don't necessarily need to raise too much funding to finish everything off anyway. The more funding would be really for liquidity wise, to just basically have that ready there to rock and roll, lock that in. But yes, we will have a kind of a more detailed overview in the next 2 weeks, actually, because we have a new and improved paper coming out, which just shows off a little bit more about the services as well. As I know Adam said, we were having a few things launching over the next few weeks as well. So we're tying in a few different, the Discord release, the first service launch, and a new updated paper launch as well. So there'll be a few exciting things to keep your eyes on for the next couple of weeks.
Awesome. And yeah, so you guys have a handful of utilities and services in OrcaFi. And if somebody's coming in here, looking to make money, just to simplify it, we got Perpetuals trading, yield farming, aggregator, and the Orca token, and all the different aspects surrounding that. And then on top of that, they get access to all of the decentralized financial services, like your Escrow service, your NFT Vault, Soulbound NFTs. That's kind of cool. Your NFT Marketplace, and there's just so many. Let me pull up your white paper here, just because if you haven't read this yet, I know it's a lot to keep in your head, but I think somebody looking to bet on you guys now understands, they can buy into the Orca token, stake it, get reflections every month from fees generated on the platform. And people will be like, well, what are the fees like? Is this thing going to generate any fees? Look at all the utilities and services here that you guys could generate. You got an escrow platform, which is I need escrows all the time out here, and I get asked to be an escrow all the time out here. And this is going to be nice. I'm actually going to recommend this to a lot of people. You have an NFT marketplace, decentralized perpetual exchange platform, yield farming and staking aggregator, DeFi trading bots, which we'll get into, the swap and bridge, the NFT vault, and then the Orca token, like we were just saying. Real quick, what network will the Orca token trade on?
Good question. So it's actually going to be multi-chain. So it's just going to start with Ethereum as the initial chain, but we will have multi-chain support. So we're very, very fortunate with the token developers we work. They develop many different multi-chain coins. And this is actually just an even bigger benefit for holders because it means there's liquidity on multiple chains. Mm-hmm. And so these will be multi on EVM compatible chains to start with, but obviously with the initial launch on Ethereum.
Okay, so initial launch on Ethereum. Are you guys going to have a pre-sale or anything like that people should be looking out for?
Yes, so there will be a small pre-sale. So as I said, in the next 2 weeks, we're going to be putting out these documents, the new paper with a bit more, covering more details of the tokenomics, because obviously that's just really a basic overview of, what different utilities the token has. Whereas in a few weeks, we'll have a document covering more of the tokenomics and the mechanisms behind a few things. and that will contain details about the pre-sale you'll be holding. And again, like I said, it's not going to be a huge one. So we are ideally looking to keep this smaller initially, the initial kind of token launch and deployment, I guess, for the number of people having this, just to make them a little bit more in demand. Just because we've already put in almost all of the footwork ourselves, and have fronted the cost of everything as well. So we'll be in a very good position where by the time the token's ready to launch, everything's already live. We have all of the services, everything's working. Now it's just that from that token sale, like I said, we'd be locking up liquidity, and then we'd be going towards different marketing aspects for actually pushing out the platform to a larger audience.
Got it. Okay. So you'll start on Ethereum with your pre-sale and launch. You'll be going multi-chain eventually. Now, I see OrcaFi token holders will get fee discounts on the different services from the on the OrcaFi platform. Do you have any idea of how many OrcaFi tokens or equivalent in dollars somebody would have to hold to get those discounts if they want to get the best bang for their buck while they're trading perpetuals or doing whatever?
Yeah, that's a good question. So yes, that will come in the next paper, because we basically have the Orca tiers. So just say this is what percent discount you're looking to get on this bit. Here, 5%. Well, okay, here's a 1%, 2.5%, 5%, 10%, and things like that. So that'll break down different tiers, the amounts you want to aim to hit, and everything like that.
Okay, that makes sense. Having a tiered system like that based on how big of a holder they are, giving them a bigger and bigger discount across the services for participating and believing in the overall ecosystem. Got it. All right, cool. And I know you mentioned this earlier with governance and having this become a DAO in pretty short order, it sounds like. So will you guys be giving up centralized control, essentially, of the OrcaFi platform over to a DAO, a decentralized autonomous organization that is controlled by OrcaFi holders?
Yes, that's correct. So the whole platform itself, once we've completed all the work and everything's in a state where we can hand it over back to the community itself, we will basically distribute all of the contracts back. We'll renounce our ownership. Some contracts will be owned by different, controlled wallets by the DAO itself already. But this will be done by the developers within the DAO. So obviously we built out another range of, in the meantime, before we even launched DAO, we've already got a range of developers that are already willing to commit their time and effort for actually maintaining these contracts and for actually expanding these services. And obviously it doesn't mean we're going to be disappearing anywhere. We'd still like to be in part of the DAO, leading it as well, and guiding it. But of course we would just no longer have that full control. Whereas that, the community can vote, they really don't want us on there anymore, didn't want us advising or anything, they can say, no, we don't like you anymore, goodbye. They can do that, which is kind of an exciting and scary thing at the same time. But, and one thing we're looking at doing, we're just finalizing the legal side of the DAO structure. Because what we did for, similarly for Project 79, we actually have a legal entity, which is over in the Republic of Marshall Islands, where they're one of the few countries that legally accepts DAOs. So that's a DAO-based entity, and there's no single owner, no single shareholder. The only time, and with decentralization aspects, the only time someone has to KYC is if someone owns 10% or more of the supply. So this, almost makes it so no one wants to maintain, if people like remaining anonymous in the DeFi space, it kind of adds that little bit of an element of stopping huge whales getting involved, because obviously if you can't have more than 10%, otherwise you are now going to be required to KYC with the Republic of Marshall Islands government and things like that. So almost a bit of a deterrence, which is good. So lets more people get involved rather than just having one or two big guys coming in, scooping everything up.
Interesting. That is very interesting. And I was going to mention that going the DAO route is actually, I think, safer to the sustainability and continuation of a DeFi project offering some of these kinds of financial services in the long run, because DAOs are, they're not centralized under anybody's control. And this probably allows you to operate this in more jurisdictions once it's officially a DAO. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, that's correct. So once it's in the full DAO structure is being deployed and it's live, obviously we can then offer these services to a wider range of people. Of course, one thing off the bat we are already implementing is different integrations with chain analysis. So chain analysis provides a large amount of free open source information regarding sanctioned wallets and sanctioned country wallet addresses. So we basically review those wallet addresses to make sure funds aren't being sent from those, and we also have different restrictions based on other sanctioned countries such as IP addresses. Just to actually protect the platform as a whole. Is not done just to, yes, we understand decentralization is so everyone can access, but of course when there's different sanctions involved, we don't want those countries interacting with the platform because that could actually harm the overall platform. Then if one government sees this sanctions countries interacting with OrcaFi to do all of this, then boom, OrcaFi could be taken down. No matter how decentralized you are, there's always going to be a way someone's going to be able to take some aspects of it down. So we're just ensuring we can protect the longevity of the platform itself.
Absolutely. So good to know you're going to have IP blocks on some countries to protect yourself from countries or jurisdictions, not wanting people from their country using this. So if you're listening to this, make sure to follow all the rules, laws, and regulations of the jurisdiction that you live in and that you are supposed to abide by. Make sure you follow all the rules, pay all your taxes, do all that good stuff, and don't use a VPN or anything. Wink, wink. All right, let's continue on from... Actually, VPNs are great if you are looking for privacy and to protect yourself and to make your IP address appear from a different jurisdiction. You didn't hear that from me. It's just what I've read on the internet as a tech enthusiast. All right. So I'll just leave it at that. But I love that you guys are going through so many precautions to ensure the stability and continuation of this platform once it's built and up and running in the wild. You don't want some country getting mad and going after your servers that are hosting the front end or something like that. Even if the smart contracts are decentralized on the blockchain, run and owned by a DAO or something like that, the front end, they could always go after the hosting provider there and just make things messy. That's very rare, by the way. Like only you don't hear about that often, but it's good things to think about in the long run.
We're just thinking whether it's 5 years in time when countries want more control of cryptocurrencies and the blockchain, whether maybe that's a tactic they use. And otherwise, if they do that, I think everyone's going to have to learn how to interact directly with smart contracts, which is another fun challenge in itself. So the front end definitely makes everyone's lives a little bit easier.
Absolutely. Anybody watching, also just disclaimers, do your own research, make sure you know the law where you live.
Yeah, that's correct. Make sure you follow your own entities, laws and regulations in regards to what you do. And obviously everything will, essentially we're not going to launch any token until the full DAO structure is in place. So cool. We want the sufficient decentralization ready before we do anything further. So we don't want to infringe cause any damage to the project before it even gets going. So which is why we're waiting for the full legal structure, DAO structure ready to rock and roll before we really kick things off. Awesome.
And you guys are going above and beyond essentially what 99% of the people that I talk to out here go to protect themselves and participants in their platforms.
Definitely. We want OrcaFi to be around for, almost forever in a way, which is, one of the biggest reasons we've gone with that DAO structure, because obviously if something does happen to us, if I disappear, if Adam disappears, if it's just us running the platform, what do you do?
Right.
You're kind of stuck. We had the keys, we had control. Whereas with a DAO-based structure, unless suddenly thousands of people go missing, we're all okay. So this way, we just provides that sufficient level of security, knowing that the platform has that longevity there. And we can't, there's not going to be interruptions if we, for example, if me or Adam were taken seriously ill, it's the end of the world. the platform's still going to keep going. I mean, I'm sure it'll be sad, but platform's going. It's all good.
Well, hopefully you guys stay around for a long time, right? I consider you guys my friends and everything. So it's good, though, that you're ensuring that this is, in my opinion, following what I would say are decentralized finance best practices. And it's tricky in this ever-evolving environment that we exist in with hundreds of different jurisdictions with all their own rules and regulations and stuff. It's a tricky time to be navigating all this stuff. So I'm glad that you guys are taking all of that seriously. Do you guys want to explain what makes your perpetual exchange trading platform, or what will make it stand out from the rest?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've been developing this for quite a while now. Security is a big element in this. So like all our apps, we have multiple providers that will be doing our audits for our smart contracts, one of them being Certic, and that will be an ongoing audit as well. Also, our Perpetual DEX, we're plugging into multiple providers for liquidity. That way we can get you the best rates on the platform. And especially if you hold our token, we can even lower the rates even more. I think that's one of the key elements. And it's going to be a massive revenue generator for all the OrcaFi holders. Okay,
so you're going to have a big focus on security on these smart contracts, and you're going to have the aggregated liquidity from various sources. So that's going to lower any slippage on these trades, right? So if somebody, like, you guys are probably all familiar, you go to an obscure DEX or something with low liquidity, you make a trade, and all of a sudden 10% just vaporizes of your value because of slippage. And that's kind of a hard concept to understand if you don't already know what it is, but you guys are preventing that here, right?
Yeah, essentially. So with multiple providers, what we're able to do is simulate the trade in milliseconds to find the best path, the best route, the best liquidity at the best prices, and then obviously execute the trade instantaneously, basically. So you don't even see that happening, but that's what's happening in the back end to give you the best rates and to completely wipe out those high slippages that you're talking about.
Awesome. So you're going to have intelligent routing through the different other DEXs and to find the route with the least amount of fees and slippage and everything like that.
Exactly.
Cool. I love it. That's great. And let's see the revenue distribution here. So you guys, I'm assuming, will be charging a small fee per trade. Am I correct in saying that?
Yeah. So there's a maker's fee and a taker's fee. Off the top of my head, I think the maker's fee is like 0% for certain levels, and then obviously more volume, there's certain fees. This will all be details in the white paper that's coming out soon. But yeah, all these fees would then be redistributed via the OrcaFi token and via the DAO.
Awesome. And since you guys are using multiple different exchanges in aggregate, I noticed you guys made a note here that traders will have sufficient order book depth. So if somebody makes a market trade and not like a limit trade, and if you're a trader, you know what I'm saying. If you just trade at the available market price on your platform, hopefully that's kind of close to the actual price of the asset that they're looking to trade. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah. So with this, actually, just the overall depth of that order book, it just, showing that we have a high level of robustness on there. So we can just support a much larger range of traders as well that are looking to do maybe deeper, I guess, bigger orders within that book. So it just gives us a lot more. Like I said, we have a lot of deep liquidity we can plug into. There's a lot of volume we can plug into as well. So it just gives us a very strong standing point within the overall DeFi space for other perpetual exchanges.
So if a giant whale came in and wanted to, sell $500,000 of Matic or something on your platform, the price isn't just going to go way down and kind of, depeg or, whatever from the actual price of Matic aggregate across the rest of the market. You're actually going to be utilizing all those different market sources to make sure that, the price is going to be true to the overall market value. Is that right?
Yeah, that's definitely correct. So that's why we spent a significant amount of time. So it's been in development for a very long time, longer than I probably care to say, to actually finish off all of these smart contracts, then have them audited. I mean,
I can't imagine.
We've gone through the number of versions we've gone through. Like Adam's like, version 1's done. Okay, cool. We want to add this. Okay, start again. Version 2, then version 3, then version 4, then version 5. And it's like, can we even get some out publicly? Is that it's not good enough yet? It's got to be. Adam's a bit of a perfectionist with his contracts. He wants to hit everything before we actually get it out publicly. Doesn't matter what. It's like we are getting it perfect. We're having all of these great features before we start, bringing the whole, platform live. That bit, the DEX side, the Perpetual DEX has been in development for quite some time. But yes, over that period, we've got some great features that we've been able to build in. There's some also great partnerships, which I think there may be some PR releases about that as we start going live about who we are working with, other partners providing liquidity, because it's not just exchanges. There's also, there's institutional levels of liquidity providers that will literally just say, here's my pool, here's the capital, you can plug it straight into it. So there's a good range of, we've got a nice mixture of liquidity providers.
Very cool. And that allows you then to be able to offer things like 20x leverage when you have that deep liquidity, right?
Definitely, yes. You do need that deep liquidity, otherwise you might get a little bit stuck. You can't fulfill that order.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I'm looking forward to hearing about those partnerships. You can't tell me about them now, can you?
Unfortunately not. They're wanting to wait for PR releases, I'm afraid.
Okay. I have to ask. It's my job. So darn it. All right. Well, we'll look out for those PR releases. That'll be exciting stuff. So what else have I missed anything with the Perpetuals exchange?
I don't believe so. I think we've covered that quite nicely. So I think Adam was saying our uniqueness is just the fact that we plug into multiple liquidity providers and we have some intelligent routing all done in the back end, which just further supports the strength of the OrcaFi Perpetual exchange. And I guess of course, the very big thing is the security aspect of the number of security orders we've had done, and we will continue to have done on everything.
Yeah, and CertiK audits are very intense. I've worked with so many projects and companies at this point, and I know how intense and expensive CertiK audits are. So that's good. It shows you guys are taking this extremely seriously, and that sounds like I can't even imagine, Adam, what you're dealing with. I remember when we were in Dubai and we were sitting there eating breakfast, and Adam has his laptop out, going over code and like talking with his team all through breakfast, like managing the development of smart contracts. You guys don't stop. And Sam, you were on your laptop working nonstop. I know you guys are like me. You can't turn it off really. So
not until it's all built. Once it's all built, maybe we'll take a little rest day. But until then, we're on them.
Well, this is a big effort. I can't imagine how many smart contracts are actually involved in everything here. Just the DeFi Perpetual exchange platform. I can't imagine how many contracts that is at the end of the day. And then all this stuff together. Yeah. So this is massive, really. And I want people who are watching to understand the complexity and scale of something like this in terms of development effort, costs and time and everything involved. I'm a software engineer, and like just reading your white paper, I was just thinking like, how are they doing this all? So
like, how many contracts are there? I'm trying to count in my head.
Hundreds.
I don't even want to know. It scares me a little bit.
Yeah.
Every time I look at the repos and everything, I'm just like, that's a new one.
Well, I'm impressed with the throughput you guys have. and also your attention to detail at the same time. So I can't wait to see it all when it comes out. Are these contracts going to be public, or are they going to be obfuscated or anything like that?
No, they'll be public.
So we'll be able to read the code directly on the blockchain?
Oh yeah, they'll also be published on Certec and these other security companies that we're getting audits with.
Cool. Awesome. Now, I wanted to ask something about the swap and the bridge, since we were talking about your partners in terms of providing liquidity. So you guys have deep liquidity across your trading exchange, and also your aggregating and routing technologies. Will that also be utilized in your swap and bridge technologies?
Yeah. Again, there's a bit of an overlay, a mix between our Perpetual DEX, our soft bridge, to who we're using to provide the liquidity. So you'll see sometimes there's like we'll use this provider for the same thing, basically. So yeah, I think there's quite a lot. There's over 40 plus liquidity providers, I'd say.
Wow.
We're basically being an aggregator of aggregators. So it is pretty large. That's why it's also taking us quite a while to develop all this in the back end, because we have to vet and make sure each one we're plugging into has done their own due diligence, security checks. They have the actual liquidity that they're advertising, and just meeting with these businesses to form a good partnership.
An aggregator of aggregators. I love it. That's the next level right there. And very cool. So I was thinking about that. I'm like, if they're doing that level already and have connections into those resources, I'm guessing you're going to be utilizing that across your cross chain.
It's absolutely massive. And Adam, do you have the number of chains it's going to support so far, or is it just ever expanding? The number seems to increase every day.
It's 40 plus. It's pretty much all chains, I would say, for the swap and bridge to start off with. And then our other services will add on as time goes. But our swap and bridge will be the one that has basically covering all chains across the board, able to swap and bridge on one platform seamlessly.
Wow. That's awesome. And it sounds like this would be a very convenient way to swap and bridge, because sometimes, I mean, every time when I bridge or do swaps, I will check 2 or 3 aggregators myself to see where I can get the best deal. And some might not have all the tokens I'm looking for or all the chains. So that's cool. You're kind of bringing all of that under one house here.
I think it's a good thing as well we've done it this way, because, we will have our own liquidity as well, especially as time goes on. So we can then facilitate it directly on the platform. But of course, if it's cheaper elsewhere and you get a better rate, we'll promote that one. So all about basically just making it as efficient and as money saving for everyone as possible. Get you the best rates wherever you go, whether it's us or whether it's going to be someone from the list of aggregators we work with. So we're going to basically just present you with the best option for every transaction you do.
Very cool. And will this also generate fees for the platform and for OrcaFi token holders or Orca token holders?
Yes, although in the swap and bridge, because it's just such a fundamental piece of the platform, it's a very, very small fee, because we didn't think it was right for, if I just want to swap, from stablecoin to stablecoin, we don't think it's right to take a huge fee on that side. But obviously, as volume builds up, it will become quite significant in terms of the fees generated on the platform itself.
Awesome. Very cool. And this is all going to be decentralized with those smart contracts. And those smart contracts will also be renounced or handed over to the DAO. Is that correct? Yeah,
that's correct. All the contracts we work on ourselves will either be renounced or we hand on over to the DAO development teams. because we are aiming to have these all as upgradable contracts.
Okay.
Which then allows our DAO development team to then continue adding enhancements, especially for the swap and bridge. We could be adding new blockchains every other week. We could be adding new aggregators, new liquidity providers every other week, just making it even more efficient as time goes on.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to mention. So these will be upgradable proxy contracts, correct?
Essentially, yes.
Okay, good. That means you can always upgrade them as tech changes, or if anything, if a bug is found,
exactly.
anything, you can fix it, right?
It's an ongoing iterative process. That's why we try so hard. That's why it's taken so long to get to this point where we think it's stable enough to release it to public, and we've done all our security checks. Of course, you might find something in a week, a month, but we'll fix things as quickly as possible to make sure our community is safe.
Awesome. Now, are you going to have these contracts then on all of these different blockchains for your bridging and swapping?
So it's a mix of our own contracts and a mix of our partners' contracts. Again, all of which audited.
Okay, cool. So when can we expect this to be ready, you think?
So the swap and bridge. So we have an internal deadline and a public deadline. I'm not sure, Sam, which deadline do you want to give?
I always consider all deadlines flexible, especially in software development, because you don't know what hurdles you're going to run into yet, right?
I'm afraid that people are going to give me a term like Elon time or something.
You think we'll see it by the end of this year, or would that be like Q1-ish, Q2?
So swap and bridge, I'm aiming for Friday.
Oh,
I want to say that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dangerous there. Very, very dangerous move, Adam.
Yeah.
You're going to be held to that now.
That's fine. That's fine.
It gives you an extra fire under your butt. You know what I mean? And if you don't hit by Friday, I don't really care. I'm just curious, if I'm looking to use some of this stuff, will I be able to use it this year, 2023, or should I expect this kind of stuff to be functional next year?
So basically, this month is the month for a lot of our services. You may see one service pop out this week, next week, and then from then on, every other week there'll be something new, a new feature added or a new service that goes live. As Sam said earlier, we've done the foundations already. So at this point, we're just gearing up to go live, testing it with 10, 50 people to start off with internally at the moment. And then, as I said, end of this week, next week, we'll start going live with our community.
Very cool. So that's coming a lot quicker than I expected. Love to hear it. So yeah, OrcaFi. I want to talk about the Escrow platform now, because Escrow is so important in a decentralized environment where a lot of stuff is done peer-to-peer, person-to-person. And oftentimes I've been in situations where, say, a custom OTC, over-the-counter market for a specific project or token disappears. And somebody has tokens that they want to trade with somebody else, but they don't have a good way to do it anymore. And they need somebody to escrow it for them. And I often get asked to do this, and I don't like doing it because it's inconvenient, risky, time consuming, all this stuff. But it's so important for those people because they don't just want to be like, hey, person I met in a random chat room who said you'll buy my, my X tokens or whatever. So I'm just gonna send you $500 USDC or $500 stable coins and hope that you send me the tokens I want or something. And then oftentimes they don't, and the person just runs off with the tokens or the money, and that's that. That's a hard lesson to learn out here in trusting or not trusting people from random chat rooms on the internet that you don't know.
Oh, definitely. So, this service, was almost born from, demand. Actually, so obviously if you didn't know, the Hydrowhales NFTs were delisted from OpenSea because they, utility based and passive income related. So therefore, anything like that, OpenSea is like, nope, you're gone. So we had a lot of people looking to trade and purchase whales or sell the NFTs, and I was juggling it as myself being kind of an escrow provider on behalf. We were just this person sends the money, they send the NFT. Okay, we sort it. And similar to what you were saying, I kind of almost had a little bit of a panic where like, what happens if I lose this NFT myself? If I accidentally send it to the wrong address? Whereas I think I had to dive into it, but smart contracts really solve this problem. Make it a lot more efficient and a lot quicker because people were waiting, if it's completely different time zones. If it's in the States, I'm in the UK, I could be sleeping by the time they want me to do it. So it's kind of, it was juggling lots of different challenges. And I think, our escrow service really addresses all of these.
It's so true. Everything you just said, like I had those same fears. I'm like, if I did this for somebody and I lost one side of it, I fat fingered the address or I sent it to the wrong person, like that's gone. You can't undo that. There's no undo button. And I think smart contracts, one of the greatest utilities for smart contracts in general is escrow. So escrow services are the ideal DeFi utility, in my opinion. Like back when Vitalik, came up with like the Ethereum EVM smart contracts, I was like, escrow services. It's a literal contract between two people. I put this asset in here. The other person puts this asset in here. We both say yes, everything looks good, and then the contract automatically does it trustlessly. You don't have to give the money to the guy first and hope he doesn't just like push you over and run away with the money. It's the perfect utility for DeFi, I think. So it's cool you guys are coming up with an escrow service here. I will send people to it all the time now because if you guys get this working and it works well, I get this asked of me all the time because I'm a public figure that people know and trust. So they're like, will you help me do this deal? And I'm like, no, I don't have time, but fine. Don't lose your money. Let's do this. Like it's nerve-wracking for me. And this is a really great service to offer to people, especially trustlessly in a decentralized fashion. You don't have to worry about losing things. Do you want to explain how your escrow service will work?
Yeah, so it essentially works by replacing Sam with a smart contract.
Sorry, Sam.
That's basically what it does in a nutshell. Again, we've been through many security audits, and this smart contract basically just sits in the middle. So you go to our platform, you can select what NFTs you want to trade with your partner. Your partner can select what they want to trade. If they want to trade some ETH or some USDC as well, they can put that in the mix. And then once both parties approve the trade, then essentially NFTs get sent to a smart contract. Both party approves it, then the smart contract does the swap. So there's no risk to anyone. And also there's also a live chat on the platform as well, so you can communicate effectively and securely.
Nice.
So it's just a nice user interface that replaces basically your two jobs.
It is not my job. I don't like doing it. I don't get paid for it. It's just a nice thing to do, I think, for people because nobody wants to see anybody get ripped off out here. So it's a cool thing you're offering. I like
Absolutely.
that you have.
So another feature I forgot to mention, we have like add-on features. So you can request us to vet the trade, to vet the NFTs personally, if you want us to do that, or you can just do the trade yourselves. There's a lot of helpful guides we're going to put out, informational content, just to make it safer for everyone on the platform as well.
Now, would that be like a free service? Like one of you guys is going to go into these trades and verify it? Like that the NFT is not like a spoof or something?
This would be an add-on service.
Okay.
Again, the revenue will be feeding back to the OrcaFi token.
Awesome.
This is just one of the few ways we can generate fees on the platform.
I love it. And I think that's super important because that was one of my thoughts here is what if somebody makes an NFT really quick that has the same name and puts it into the escrow contract and tricks somebody else into getting.
It's a good thing, and that was probably, I think, my biggest scare is like, what if someone just faked an NFT? But so we obviously have the ability. You can literally just go through, open them up on the NFT Marketplace. You can verify. We say you need to verify the contract addresses, so make sure you go to the actual contract address of the say if you want to buy a Bored Ape, for example, you go to OpenSea, you find the actual Bored Ape collection that's verified. You get the contract address. Does it match the contract address of the NFT they've sent? Yes, they're sending you a Bored Ape. Nope, they're trying to trick you. And obviously then, we have relevant guides around that. But of course, that's where, we can come into play, and other members of the DAO can also have a role as a marketplace and escrow reviewer, and they can just help check any of these things out if you need.
That's very cool. I love that additional service. That was the first thing I thought of, and I've never heard of anybody offering that service out here yet. So that's so convenient and helpful. And this works for like NFT. Say I want to. Are all of these situations possible in your escrow service? Could I do NFT for an NFT trade? Could I do NFT for a cryptocurrency trade, like a stable coin or blue chip? And could I do a cryptocurrency and a cryptocurrency or crypto token exchange?
Yes.
Cool. So I could be like, hey Sam, I'll give you 50 BUSD for $50 worth of BNB. I could make that trade with Sam through this.
Yeah, you can. And you can do things like, say if you have your Hydrowhales NFT plus 1,000 USDC on one side, and then saying, I want to buy this, I want to get $5,000 worth of ETH on that side. So you can do multiple coins and NFTs on one side and single coins on the other side. So it's very flexible. And it's something, we aim to be able to add more features to as time goes on. We want to be able to have, I think one of the things in progress right now is multi-blockchain support. So you could almost do a cross-chain escrow. So, if you've got something on the Binance Smart Chain, you got 1,000 BNB here, $1,000 worth of BNB here, and an NFT on ETH plus a little bit of USDC. We want to be able to seamlessly be able to swap them as well, and that's in progress and moving on quite nicely.
That's insane. I've never heard of that before. I didn't even think about it until now. So cross-chain escrow exchange services. That's super cool.
So that'd be the version 10 of it. I don't
version 10.
We're at version 8 right now.
I saw Adam's eyes, like the look of horror in his face as you're explaining this. It's like, Sam, no.
Don't reveal my plans.
So that could be maybe way down the road, but everything we talked about before the cross-chain part should be functional here in the next few weeks or months.
So the escrow one, I'd say a month, but because it's going to be available on our other platform first, and then it will come to OrcaFi.
What other platform?
Ocean Money.
Ocean Money. And for those who don't know, these are the guys behind Ocean Money as well. And am I right in saying that Ocean Money is more of an institutional level financial services project and company that you guys have created?
So Ocean Money is a regulated financial platform, kind of an all-in-one financial platform offering neobanking, crypto, and wealth management, kind of in a single application. So this is obviously being a regulated entity. These services can't be offered anywhere and everywhere. So currently we're restricted to the UK and the European Economic Area. But we do have a vision to expand globally as regulation changes. So we're hoping get more regulatory clarity, especially over in the States, over the next 6 months. Hopefully we can start 2024 with a good plan in mind of how we do our global expansion. So it's just basically waiting on some additional clarity on, especially the crypto side, is the tricky part right now for us of how we get into the US market without reaching on some different laws and do it properly. So we have that guidance in the UK, the EU now, finally. Still taking some considerable time to have that. And more regulations to achieve. But yes, essentially Ocean Money again, it is for consumers and corporate clients as well. So it's not just for corporate clients. We can onboard normal consumers too. But yes, it is a centralized and regulated platform. Whereas OrcaFi is the decentralized sister in a way of Ocean Money. So where we can service a lot of different regions we wouldn't have been able to do before. So, and obviously this would be a DAO structure anyway, allowing us to reach out and branch out to different regions we wouldn't have been able to explore with Ocean Money.
Okay, so Ocean Money is a more centralized platform that has a traditional legal framework as an entity and everything that is involved with that, where you kind of have to be centralized and do like KYC stuff, I'm guessing, in certain situations. Whereas OrcaFi is the decentralized financial services project that you're creating, where it's going to be DAO controlled and as decentralized as possible.
That's correct. Yeah, and for Ocean Money, it's full KYC from the get-go to even get onto the platform. Proof of funds, everything, anything and everything. It is a properly centralized and regulated entity. So we will hold regulation in process right now. It is with the FCA in the UK and with the crypto asset scheme. We have we're going as sub-licensees on electronic money licenses in the UK and the EU. We have our own virtual asset service provider license coming out in the next 3 to 4 weeks in the EU. We hold licensing as well, asset management licensing through Switzerland already. So it's it'll be a heavily regulated entity, that one.
That sounds like quite the headache. So
yes, compliance has been my. It's like literally, I dream about regulatory, just all the regulatory laws and requirements and all the compliance requirements. It's all I've really done for the last 12 months or so.
Your poor dreams, man. Your poor dreams.
Yeah. Well, Adam dreams of code and smart contracts. I'll dream of the regulations.
Oh man, I've had the code dreams, Adam. I feel you, bro.
Trust me, it's better than the regulations and Sam's have to go through back and forth.
That's true.
I'll take coding any day.
Absolutely, me too. Now let's jump into your NFT Marketplace and some of the cool NFT services you guys offer. So, what makes your NFT Marketplace different?
Well, so as you know, this actually all stemmed from, I guess, a little bit of backstory. Hydrowhales NFT, which was, our initial NFT project, was delisted by OpenSea for being passive income and utility related. And then so did so many of our other partner projects as well. And, almost as our, we were trying to think, what do we do now? I actually ended up giving birth to the OrcaFi idea. Is like, what? If they're going to block us, we're going to make our own protocol and our own platform that, really gives control back to the people and isn't a centralized entity. Because, I think some people forget that OpenSea is a centralized company with, proper shareholders, investors they give fund back to. They have to adhere to lots of different regulation. And then they got scared. And what we found that there's a big gap in the market for NFT marketplaces that will, wholly support utility and passive income based NFTs, which is where, we come in. We believe in, real world asset tokenization, being able to link businesses to NFTs and give people another vehicle or another vessel, be able to enter, to access these opportunities rather than through the traditional market and traditional ways you would do so. So I think, that's one big thing for us is the way that we're going to be able to push much, I think, higher quality NFTs that are here to stay, linked to real world businesses and, so forth and so on like that. So that includes the Hydrowhales, could be other crypto mining NFTs. We've got, one project that we actually, we launched through the Hydrowhales Launchpad was an NFT linked to boxing arcade machines that generates, a nice healthy passive income on a monthly basis.
Right.
But hey, yes, it's crazy. And this is the stuff, these are the different opportunities we want to be allowed to list on the platform and find and help push out. And I think so many people are scared because obviously, what if the mainstream platform doesn't accept us anymore? When that's an NFT that pays 1% to 2% a month from just arcade machines located in Europe.
That's awesome.
It's absolutely crazy. And all of this is possible through, the use of NFTs. So we're looking to use them, ever more. And OrcaFi is really going to be the powerhouse behind that.
Well, that's a great reason, if any, that you were delisted from OpenSea's NFT Marketplace because your Hydrowhales NFTs were considered a utility or passive income-based NFT, which I don't see anything wrong with that. Actually, I fully support those types of NFTs and assets. I think it's imperative for the future of DeFi and internet and finance technology. So it's kind of crazy that like the biggest NFT marketplace did that, or had to do that, I should say, because of regulatory concerns on their end. So you guys created your own solution, which is a DeFi friendly NFT marketplace, correct?
Yes, it is. Now, one thing we will be doing is we will vet collections coming on. So we will let people make their collections and launch through it, but we will have vetted ones as well. So, Hydrowhales and our partners, because yes, we are open for anyone creating their NFT collections, but for us to be able to openly say, almost a verified by OrcaFi, is we need to actually verify that these are real opportunities and not linked to, your typical super degen players that are just essentially Ponzi-based contracts or anything like that.
Yeah.
So there will be a level of verification on that side before we actually start, listing them as on the front page or anything. But you typically see, I think, with a big focus on NFTs linked to real world businesses, real world assets would be our probably big play initially.
Got it. So you guys will be vetting the collections coming on to the platform. Now, will the DAO be taking over that responsibility once?
Yes.
Okay.
So within the DAO structure, I think you'll be outlined in the paper a little bit more, is we'll have different roles. We have the developer side. We have people to assist with the marketing aspect, community management. We have, the escrow service, the people that oversees that, almost like customer support. So there'll be kind of a range of roles, and they will be rewarded, through Orca tokens or through stable coins for the work they do. So, participating in the DAO does get you rewarded. So it's not just like, it's not for the better of the, it is for the better of the DAO itself, but also you personally, you don't just get left out for your time. So you do get rewarded for assisting with that.
Okay, cool. So being a part of the DAO and assisting in some of these functions in the future will come with perks and rewards.
Definitely. And that's why we're not going to be doing a huge token release, like a token sale sizes, because we really want to have, a large amount of, from people getting involved with the DAO is being rewarded from those other tokens we have that are kept in reserves within the OrcaFi treasury for distributing as rewards to members, which is, I think a very, very big thing. So be it we have a small community, but very active, they're going to get rewarded very well for doing their work. And you might even be able to replace your full-time job with just working for the DAO.
Wow. That would be nuts. That would be super cool.
It's my mission. It's my goal now.
Yeah, well, I love it. And I also have a similar goal out here, is to help people find as many opportunities as possible in terms of jobs and economic prosperity. So very cool, man. I love that this will have the potential to create jobs in the DeFi space.
Definitely, yeah, the whole platform will. I think hopefully we can say, almost because you're working for the common good as well. Not only do you get paid for your time as well, but also you're supporting the overall DAO, which then supports your overall pay, because that value could go up even more over time. So it's a nice economy, I guess. It's been built, a nice circular economy where everything that comes around goes around. So we'll see.
Absolutely. And so you're going to have a DeFi friendly NFT marketplace, and it's going to have verified collections on here, and anything else that we should know about the marketplace.
So of course, there will be fees as expected, but these fees, again, they do go back into the community, the tokens themselves. So essentially there's fees in all of the services, be it a tiny amount, large amount, small amounts, whatever they're going to be. But these will all go back to the holders and back to the community, where then the community can then govern what we do with those fees. And obviously the functionality and the features we have on the platform, the marketplace, the NFT one, you can actually vote to, do we want to change any features? Do we want to build new features? Actually, I do think one cool thing I might have missed slightly is that we are looking to add in, there is a direct connection between the Escrow service and the NFT Marketplace, because, we think being able to discuss is very good. So like if someone sees an opportunity on the marketplace, okay, it's 1,000 USDC. Tell you what, I have this really cool NFT. That's another utility-based NFT, but I don't have the $4,000. They can actually then propose trades through their escrow system, so that'll be coming in the future as well. So it just opens it up to a bit more interactivity. So then, also have that live chat system we have on the escrow service and the ability to message people and make offers. So it's not just, here you go, it's a fixed price. It's going to actually let people make, give them a little bit more control, a bit more flexibility and how they can do things and almost barter, do bids and trading, whatever. So it's going to be a very flexible marketplace we're looking to build out.
That's amazing. I often have wanted to do that on some of these marketplaces. So you will offer live chatting capabilities to other people that are offering NFTs for sale. So people can make offers and say, hey, I won't buy it for $1,000, but I'll buy it for $900 or something like that. I gotta ask, does that happen over the blockchain? Are those messages stored over the blockchain, or is that going to be happening on like a third-party server that you guys host somewhere?
So to start off, it will be third-party servers. In terms of logging the messages, I don't think we'll be logging messages to start off with. Maybe we might have to change that depending on the DAO's regulations. Not sure. But yeah, we're pretty flexible. We have looked into technology like doing it on a blockchain, but there's issues around it being scalable and your messages again being public. So this is something that needs to be discussed within the DAO essentially, and the community, and then they can decide which one they want to pick. But both options are available.
I like it because it's not like a vital service. It's just kind of like a cool, convenient add-on. So if it is like an additional like web hosted service that you guys offer through like the user interface and everything, like that's super cool. Now, will I have to have an account will I have to like make an account on OrcaFi with like my email address and stuff to log in, or will it just connect through my wallet and like?
It's just linked to your wallet.
So if I send somebody a message, and I log in to the wallet that's offering to sell an NFT or something, I can log in and see all the messages that somebody sent to my account that's just linked to my wallet address, essentially, right?
Yeah, you just have like a little chat icon, red dot, click that, you'll see a list. Cool.
And yeah, I know you can send messages kind of over the blockchain, but like barely anybody knows how to do that, and it's super inconvenient. So this is kind of a cool little hybrid approach here that I think you can still maintain decentralization and security, at least for all the vital core elements. So I think that's everything I see here for the NFT marketplace. I want to talk about another NFT service you offer called the NFT Vault. And you use a cool term called soulbound NFTs, like soul, like the human soul, soulbound NFTs. This reminds me of like an RPG term or something like something out of a video game. Can you explain to me what the NFT Vault is and what soulbound equivalents are?
Definitely. So I think just to kick it off, so soulbound NFT is essentially a non-transferable NFT. Now, this idea of this NFT Vault, where you can actually send your original NFT, be it a Hydrowhales NFT, into this vault, and then what would happen is that's stored securely in a smart contract, whilst you then receive a receipt, which is a soulbound equivalent. So this soulbound NFT can't be transferred. And the beauty of this is because we've seen so many communities affected by wallet drainers and other attacks. Yeah. Whereas even if your wallet was compromised, unless they actually got to your seed phrases, that's a big problem on its own. That's a whole other problem. They can't take your NFT away from you. It's still there. And what we're doing is we're working with a few communities and we're looking to scale this out, is to actually have the utilities being able to be attached to the Soulbound equivalents as well as the traditional NFTs. So that way, your NFT you could still use on a day-to-day basis, interacting with smart contracts, using it, be it for claiming rewards or voting on different pieces of platforms or governance or whatever you want to do on that side. This way, you don't ever have to worry about clicking on a dodgy link. This could be you just store your NFTs in this wallet. They're all soulbound. You're not going to lose anything, which is perfect. And now it's easy. If you want to reclaim your NFT from that vault, from that smart contract, you can simply go back to the vault. And what happens is you actually burn the soulbound NFT directly on that contract. And then once that's burnt, you then actually receive the original NFT sent back to your wallet. And it's a seamless process, and you can retrieve your assets whenever you desire, kind of an easy speed. It's very simple to use. We are pending a few more security audits, so we've done plenty. But of course, because we're going to be storing NFTs, we want to make sure it's as security tight and watertight as possible. We're just basically going through a few different third parties to review everything. So we're just waiting their final reports back from that just to give us the all clear, just to make sure there's nothing we've missed at all. So all far, so good on that. But yeah, like I was saying as well, we're going to be collaborating with various different NFT communities to be able to build out custom Soulbound NFT collections, which just actually allow these NFTs to mirror the original utilities as well. So that way users can use Soulbound ones all day, any day without any issue, and whilst all protecting themselves in a very sensible manner.
I see. So a Soulbound NFT is almost like a copy of the original, but without the ability to transfer it out of that wallet to any other wallet or contract except the original NFT Vault that the original is securely stored in.
Yeah, that's correct.
So if I'm going around and it's my favorite wallet that I use for other stuff, and I've got a very valuable NFT in there I don't want to lose, I can put it in the NFT Vault. I can get a Soulbound equivalent, like a receipt, and then I can keep going around, clicking and connecting to all these different dApps and websites in my DeFi journey, which is very precarious because I'm a degen, and I don't have to worry about one of these shady smart contracts or websites that I connect to draining all the NFTs out of my wallet if they are in the form of Soulbound NFTs, correct?
Yes, that's correct, and that's the overall view of this this part of the platform, is just be able to give everyone a little bit more protection whilst they're navigating through the crypto space. Just because there are so many different scams and wallet drainers out there, and of course, we know everyone likes to show off what NFTs they've got. So there's no better way than have a nice receipt, essentially. Yes, receipt of your NFT that's there, Soulbound. It shows proof of ownership. I own this NFT. You can see it's linked to this one, but you can't touch this one. You can't get my NFTs. But if you get my seed phrase, that's another story. But that's a whole nother security lesson.
That's a whole other story. That means you totally messed up.
I can't help you there. If you've gone ahead and distributed, they'll give your seed phrase away anyway.
Yeah, that's a whole. So that's cool. I like that. And then you're also working with NFT collections to incorporate if it's a utility NFT, for instance, to incorporate that utility into the Soulbound NFT so they can still use it to grant access to communities or dApps or get passive income or use it in a game or whatever that specific NFT's utility is. In those cases, they would be able to just hold the Soulbound NFT very securely and go do that stuff without risking losing that NFT because it's still stored safely in the vault, right?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's correct.
Cool. I love it. I think it's a great idea. And I think this is something that could really protect a lot of people, because I hear so many people out here clicking a link in Discord from like a compromised Discord account and then going and doing, I don't know, draining all their NFTs and then complaining about it, and it's hard. It's
Yes.
hard, for people.
It's very hard, I think, and that's where I see it came from. So many negative messages we've seen of people. I just clicked a link and everything's being drained. My NFTs and NFTs do carry a lot of value. So we just looked at a nice layer of protection for everybody.
And you're going to make sure that this like vault is like Fort Knox, right? Like
definitely
impenetrable.
So this will be probably one of the latter features we release, just because of the number of security audits we're doing on it, just to make sure there is nothing there.
So you like if I had a board like a yacht club NFT worth like $1 million or something, I could put it in here and sleep at night.
Yes, okay. Definitely.
All right, good to know. That's very cool and an awesome feature to offer people. So another thing we touched on earlier was the yield farming and staking aggregator. So let's talk about that really quickly. Can you explain what aggregated yield farming and staking is for somebody who might not be familiar with it?
Yeah, so essentially what we're doing is, just like we're doing with our swap, just like we're doing with our Perpetual DEX, is that we're looking for other providers in the yield farming space, in the staking space, and just basically aggregating the aggregators and finding the best deals for our community, so they can choose from one platform which deal they want to enter. And on the platform, we'll say, hey, this is where we're getting this potential deal from versus this one. And yeah, so giving our community a bit of freedom and clarity into what they're investing into.
Okay, so you're going to be like an aggregator of aggregators and allow people to see all the different opportunities that you guys have aggregated onto your platform, and they can just conveniently interact with all of those yield farms through your interface and smart contracts in a decentralized fashion. And what are the main benefits of doing it this way?
Basically, because you get an overview from one place of all the different opportunities. We're able to rank this deal versus this deal from these platforms, give you risk analysis as well on the fly. And it's just a better user experience.
Awesome. And I personally like yield aggregators. I think if they're done right, they are a very fun way to do DeFi. So what kind of additional fees could somebody expect for using your yield aggregator service? Because oftentimes other yield aggregators I've used, they're very convenient and fun, but they take a little bit off the top. So like I could potentially make more money if I just went to the natives pool and did it manually. Obviously it takes more time for me to do that across a whole bunch of different places I'm farming in. But do you guys have high fees or anything like that? What's the fee structure like?
That's a good question. So we charge, again, very, very small fees, because the RM of the platform is just to actually make your life easier. And, the more attention we get, the bigger the volume we get. So we're going on a higher volume-based approach through the platform, rather than looking to charge high unnecessary fees. But yes, almost there is a convenience fee associated with using this. But then, it's going to save time managing it. So if every day rather than using the OrcaFi aggregator, you've gone directly to 7 different pools or 7 different platforms, every day you've got to check 7 different sites, rather than having a one centralized platform where, in your morning, with your coffee, quickly flick open OrcaFi and, 1 minute, and cool, this is what my APY is, this is what I earned yesterday, this is how the positions are looking. Cool, that's nice and simple. Oh, I want to get out of them. Cool, let's get out of them. Whereas if you do that times 5 or times 7 on different platforms, that's going to make your day a little bit longer. That turns it into a full-time job. We just want to make yield farming super, super easy, because it's already a very accessible opportunity and a lot of people miss out on it, especially when there's a lot more stable ones, USDC and USDT, or with different pairings where you can, do yield farming on, stable coins and other things like that. So we got a kind of a wide range of stuff we can do on that. And it's just, yes, convenience fee, very, very cheap. And obviously we're going to highlight this in the actual paper when it comes out too. And of course, I know we mentioned this a little bit earlier before we really dove into this, is almost the yield farming ETF, the automated farming tool, which we'll be releasing, like I said, about Q1 next year, just because there's an awful lot of testing to do. But when this is released, you can almost just put funds straight into it, and it's managed depending on your risk tolerance. Because obviously yield farming still carries risk. Pools could be drained, there could be hacks, values could crash. So then depending on your risk tolerance, there's going to be a few options for you, whether you want low risk, where we have kind of an automated stablecoin yield optimizer, where we basically spread out your coins across multiple farms and then manage it on a kind of a smart contract basis, or whether you take like a slightly more of a medium risk, where you want to go like native coins like Ethereum and yield farm with that. So there's going to be some options. So that is going to be one very big thing for the platform, one that's ready to rock and roll.
Awesome. I love it. And that is super convenient. Like I said, I use it myself, and I still pay the convenience fees because it saves me time every day. I just log into one spot. I see the exact values in those pools. I can claim all of my rewards all at once in one place. So is it going to be like that? I could just go to like your OrcaFi yield aggregator. I'm in like 6 different farms, and I can just go and say harvest, 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 or harvest all, and then go about my business.
Yes. Yeah, you'll be able to manage it all from your dashboard. It'll be nice one area for managing all your investments.
Actually, I did forget to mention that because obviously with the optimizer as well, one thing we're doing is kind of an auto claim functionality. So then we can claim on your behalf. So you don't need to do it on a daily basis. You can literally just check and say, okay, cool, this is what I've gained, this is what I'm gaining, this is what I'm gaining. It's been compounded back in. So we're going to have quite a few different features getting released over the coming months. So once we have the core version out, we're going to have lots of updates and new features added.
So you're saying at some point you're going to be able to automatically set up compounding and or claiming via smart contract without me even having to do anything?
Yes, a real automated yield optimizer. So then you can really take a step back. And then I think that the next step from that is the actual our overall ETF tool, as I call it right now. Need to discuss and find a proper name for it. But that'll be the next step after that.
Cool. I love it. I think that's super easy and convenient. And that convenience fee, is that taken out when somebody deposits initially, or is that taken out on like harvested rewards? Where will that be on the
rewards? So yeah, it comes from the rewards. We're not going to take from your initial. There's no point on that. I don't think that's fair. So it's based on almost like a management performance fee, essentially, of everything you're doing. So don't worry about, you're not going to lose your initial. I think we're all for the long run. So, it makes more sense to take from what you're generating on a daily, weekly, or monthly basis, because obviously the more you get put in, the more fees we get back out.
Right. Yeah. And I think that is the best way to do it, in my opinion, as well. Cool. I also see cross-chain compatibility. So you're saying I will be able to yield farm in multiple farms on multiple chains all at the same time from one spot.
Yeah, that's correct. So we're going for a multi-chain approach, like the entire platform itself. So that way, again, you just have that one central place. You can go from multiple chains, single platform, great overview, and you can just switch between the chains you want to search and just manage it all from there.
Now, could I have the flexibility? I know Adam's going to cringe if this isn't already a feature, but to get my rewards in a token on whatever chain I prefer versus whatever chain it exists on already.
You're giving Adam a new challenge. Adam, what do you think?
Of course it's possible.
Good.
The logic's possible, yes. I'll add that to my roadmap list.
Yeah.
My ever-going list. Yeah, absolutely. And why not?
Because if you have the swap and the bridge with deep liquidity like that and everything,
we'll just take a fee for that convenience.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because that'd be cool. Like if I just want to stack BNB on Binance Smart Chain, but I'm farming on Ethereum and Matic and wherever else and BSC. It'd be cool to be able to like get it all paid out in my preferred token.
To be fair, yeah, like as you said, if I wanted Bitcoin instead, for example, that'd be interesting.
You've given Adam some inspiration now. So now you've reduced his sleep by another hour each night.
Yeah,
he's going to appreciate that.
You're welcome. Less code dreams more code. Yeah, man. All right, that's great because you make a great point with Bitcoin. I want to stack Bitcoin. That's my ultimate DeFi goal. So I do all this DeFi stuff, essentially, obviously, to pay the bills, and whatever. But I like to save a lot of it as Bitcoin, which is something I strongly believe in long term. And it would be awesome to have that option to harvest all of my yield farms in Bitcoin. That'd be awesome.
Okay, we're gonna take that to the drawing board and we're gonna figure something out because I think that could be doable.
That would be super cool. Let's see. All right. So anything else about the yield farming and staking aggregator? Do you think we missed anything?
I think we covered it all, and you've given us some inspiration for a whole other feature to be added in.
Very cool. When that comes out, I'm gonna brag to everybody. Be like, I had that.
That's
idea.
for me.
Yeah, they'll be like, sure it is. All right. So let's talk about your DeFi trading bots. And trading bots out here in DeFi is a somewhat contentious topic because there are so many like DeFi trading bot projects, but they turn out to be Ponzi's or something like that, right? You don't actually know what's going on. So
this is I'm very proud of this. I'm sorry I'm diving right in, but for us, what we've done is the quantitative traders, again, they'll be public people, public traders. We're aiming to get them, on different YouTube sessions, talk about what they're doing, their experience as well. But I think the biggest thing for us is, one, we have our own trading platform. Obviously, it's decentralized. And two, they're going to trade on the blockchain. They're not going to use a centralized platform to trade on where they can just send a few fake screenshots. No, we wanted it to be able to be demonstrated on the actual blockchain. You could literally go on the blockchain. You can see this is the execution. This is what they've done. They've just executed this trade for this much. Cool. I can actually see it. Because that's something that made me. I've had so many people, recommended me to invest into these different trading books. Mm-hmm. Oh, they're doing 30% a month. Okay, how? Have you seen any trades? No.
Yeah.
They say here they send a screenshot or something like that of the trades they're doing.
Yep.
Okay, that's brilliant. But they're a DeFi project, but they're not using decentralized technology. They're using centralized platform to trade your funds on, which is it's concerning. So that's why
it's hard to investigate too. Like it takes a lot of time to try to figure it out.
Yes, I'm like, okay, so they just don't get it. They're decentralized, protocol, but they're using a centralized platform for trading. Really puts me on edge. Why there's other great platforms like you've got GMX or DYDX or other perpetual based trading exchanges you could go on and you can see them on the blockchain. Mm-hmm. If they're not using blockchain technology to trade on, they're probably not trading or not trading very well in my opinion. Which is I think is the biggest thing for us is that's where it's going to be. It's going to be on the chain. So you can see your deposit address where you see the funds go to, and you can see okay, here's the pool for the different levels of risk. Different bots we have. Here's pool 1 and here's pool 2. There's my funds. These are the trades they do. You can actively see that. That's what we're doing. And when I say they're bots, they are automated trading strategies, but they are managed by these quantitative traders. So there'll be continuous tweaks and performance improvements and enhancements over this. And I think it's also important to highlight we are running these trading strategies as a traditional trading fund. There could be red months and there's green months too. there's no month where it's, we're never going to say every month it's going to be green. You need to look at this at from maybe a yearly perspective where, 9 months out of 12 are green, and overall the year you made 28% or so for the overall year. It's not based on it's hard to do on a monthly basis. And that's why I detest a lot of these other bots that are saying, yes, we've never lost a trade. We've had 12 green months. It's every trader loses. Every trader loses. No matter, you just want to win more. I hate when people don't show losses because it is untrue. Be it say, we've never lost a single trade, then you definitely are trading, because no matter how good you are, you will lose. And what makes our trader, trading a good trader is the risk to reward ratio, to the fact where, okay, I'm only risking, 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, for example. So I only need to risk one amount. I only have to win 1 out of 3 trades to be making, be profitable, for example. So that's something that the quantitative traders have really, put together and put a really good risk management strategy in place to minimize losses. Which is why, you'll see when we release all the numbers and the actual percentages for these bots, it's not going to be your high degen 50,000% a month or anything like that, or 1% a day. It's a longer term approach. Yes, it's higher than probably a lot of traditional options, but it's not going to be crazy numbers. It's going to be healthy. You can see it on the blockchain. And of course, like I said, there will be red months. Things could have a bad month and the next month picked up again. And that's how traders work. You look on kind of an annual basis over these last 12 months, we made 28%. We're in 28% in the green. There we go. And, when you withdraw your funds, it will be based on your position size, not your initial, because like I said, losses can happen, which again is something where these other DeFi trading bots get me, is because, okay, so I put $10,000 in, but my position size never changes. It's just an APY based off my initial position size, which isn't true. That number could be fiction. If they lost half of that, how the hell are they going to give you an APY on $10,000 still when they've only got 5,000 left? Mm-hmm. So that's one really big, it's almost a bit of a run for me, is because we wanted to change up the way people can see trading bots and understand that, yes, it's all on blockchain. And it's actually run like a proper trading fund by these traders. It's not a monthly green every month. It's just a yearly, long-term approach. And of course, if it's green on the month, things can be distributed. You can withdraw. It's up to you. But we just recommend saying, look at it from an annual approach. Months are going to be red, months are going to be green. But that's how it goes in the trading world.
All right. That's a lot to take in.
I almost went on a bit of a rant there.
That was great, though. And it's good to see your thought process regarding DeFi trading bots and projects, as it's something I have to navigate all the time. When projects approach me and they're a bot trading project, it's a nightmare for me in terms of due diligence. And even if I do a really great job, it's never perfect. And I never know for sure. Right.
It's difficult, but I've heard people saying, we can't connect to decentralized exchanges. Oh, yes, you can. DYDX, GMX, there's API connections available right off the bat. You can even go directly into the smart contracts. If you've got proper traders behind it, they know what they're doing. They can actually connect, and especially if they're quantitative traders, where they just basically, with their signals, when they trigger, you trigger the trade. It's a simpler process. I hope people can actually understand that you can see it on the blockchain. So they should be doing it on the blockchain, because you're trading crypto, do it on the bloody blockchain. That's what it's there for. You can see everything straight on there.
So I'm assuming there will be a selection of trading bots and trading bot strategies for the end user like myself to choose one and then deposit a certain amount of funds into, and then what would I just be able to claim it, the rewards or profit, or would it just be the capital itself growing and shrinking and then I can just withdraw whenever? How would that work from a user experience perspective?
So obviously you have your earnings that you'd be essentially promote, whether if you have earnings that month, and you'll be kind of given the option, do I just want to roll it back into my initial position size to increase that, or do I want to withdraw it? You can withdraw your position size at any time. Adam, was it 28 days notice the traders needed, or is it only 14 days at the time?
So your initial deposit is locked for 30 days. This gives our quantitative traders time to then move the funds into the Perpetual DEX and to start trading with it. After the 30 days, then you can request your money back. Withdrawals are processed on the 1st and the 16th of every month.
Okay, so there's a 28-day request period, and I'm guessing that's to ensure the integrity of currently active trades with that capital. So you make a request, and then 28 days later, you'll be able to withdraw those freed up funds.
So it's only the initial deposit that's locked for the month, basically.
Okay.
And then afterwards, you can request your money at any point. So let's say you requested it on the 1st, you get your money back on the 1st. But if you requested it on the 2nd of the month, then you'll get it on the 16th of the month.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, good to know. And then you can claim the trading profits. Did you say the profits would be distributed once a month?
So the profits are basically daily. You'll see it go into your account. It'll either be a plus or a negative, depending on how that day went. And then it's your choice when you want to withdraw.
And then you said you can withdraw or compound it back into your position.
Yes, essentially.
Okay. All right, cool. That seems simple enough. Now, so this is decentralized, right? Are these trading bots then? Is each one of them their own smart contract that is managed by one of these experienced quantitative traders that you mentioned?
So they're not smart contracts. They're trading strategies that have been developed in-house by them. And then they get basically the trading strategies, the trading algorithms generate signals. These signals are then passed on to our Perpetual DEX and executed.
Okay. So the traders will just be trading with their bots that they've developed in-house, and then using your Perpetuals market to execute the trade. So all of those trades will be visible on the blockchain itself and can be verified that the numbers they're saying are what's actually happening.
Yes.
So, okay, cool. And are you guys able to reveal who your partners are that have?
Yeah, they'll be fully public. They're open to being public, and I know we wanted to get them on for different AMAs sessions to talk about the strategies. But you have to bear in mind they're very mathematical people.
Yes.
So you can imagine when they're speaking, they get very passionate about the subjects. But yes, we're going to get them on board and show them, have videos of them. They'll be providing commentary, saying this is what we're doing, this is why it does this is why it works. In a very rapid, fast-paced speaking manner as usual. But yes, they will be revealed. They won't be hidden people.
I would love to talk with your quants sometime.
Definitely.
That'd be fun.
Might take up about 6 hours of your day. I'll tell you that. When we speak to them, they do not like to be quiet. They just go on and on and on about these strategies. I mean, currently they have 40 different strategies. It's an insane number of strategies. And they're having to whittle them down just to like 2 or 3. All we're going to let them use for now.
Well, I love a good, in-depth, long, technical talk. You guys know me. I think that sounds fun. Now, if I, just so I can wrap my head around this, you guys will have these trading bots on the user interface. It'll be, like I say, there's a grid bot or something here for these 2 assets. Bitcoin and Ethereum or something. I can just put money into that. Do I have any control over the variables or anything like that? How does that work if they're going to be managing this stuff and it's not,
That's a great question.
For instance.
So for version 2 of this, it's going to be deployed in a way through almost selectors. You can actually choose your risk to reward ratio. This will be kind of in the second version. So obviously, initially, you will literally have, here's my choices of the strategies. You can pick the strategy, which covers, this is very low risk to reward ratio. This is slightly higher, depending on your risk tolerance as a person. And then what we're working with them to do is actually implement a feature where it's customizable based on the strategy. So then, okay, I like the strategy more. They're trading these types of pairs. I prefer this one, but it's a little bit low in the returns for my liking. I've got some money I'm willing to risk to be lost. I want to increase my risk to reward ratio on this by X amount. So we're working on having it so then separate funds can be pulled separately to be able to be managed in a different way automatically. So it won't affect their overall strategy. It's just the risk to reward ratio that's going to kind of be customized essentially.
Okay. And how many options do you think will be available that they would be able to manage, efficiently and cost effectively?
So in terms of the trading strategies, there'll be 2 or 3 initially, and we will probably maintain that level just to avoid too much. I don't want to spread these traders their time too thin. Yeah. You'd ideally just focus them on 2 strategies, just 2 to 3 strategies, just to basically secure them and always continuously monitor them and work on them, rather than making them, they got 40 strategies they could release. But I'm like, you're not going to be able to maintain them all. These are just ones they have stuff like they're launching new strategies every single day. So they'll just have 2 to 3 main ones that they continuously monitor and improve.
All right. And what assets would I be depositing into one of these strategies, and what asset would I be getting back in terms of profits?
Stable coins. So I believe their choice one is USDC on Ethereum currently. But that may change. USDT.
Okay. USDT on Ethereum. Very cool. Sounds good. And is there a level of centralization risk here with them and the funds?
So that's a good question, but they can't actually withdraw the funds themselves. So that part is technically managed by the smart contracts on the withdrawal part. So we use will kind of be a combination of Fireblocks and other smart contracts. So they do not have the capability of withdrawing from that wallet to their own wallets, essentially.
All right, and
so you can't just drain and they can't pull the plug.
Good to know. So they'll be kind of firewalled or in a jail, essentially. It's using like a Unix term or something, but like so they'll be in a Fireblocks managed.
Yes.
And Fireblocks is like
they can't get out of it. Yes,
they're like
you can't get out of it.
DeFi financial services company that does like really secure kind of stuff. So they won't be able to do anything except trade with your Perpetuals market contracts, right?
That's correct.
What is their incentive here? Do they get a performance and management fee for doing this?
There is a performance fee for all of this. So obviously if they do well, we all do well. They make a fee. They lose, there's no fee. Just on that on a monthly basis. So yes, it's in their best interest to perform as best as they can. And obviously with everything being on the blockchain, it's much easier to see as well. So you can see, okay, this is that. And their costs will be clear on top of our costs. So we will build in essentially their fee plus the OrcaFi fee, which is just most of the convenience platform fee. And that'll be added alongside their overall performance fee for managing the funds.
All right, cool. That makes sense to me. And I think we covered everything here that I can think of for OrcaFi. Did we miss anything with the DeFi trading bots that you guys wanted to mention, or did we cover that pretty thoroughly?
No, I think we covered it pretty thoroughly. I went on my bit of a run about the state of other traditional current trading bots out there. So yeah, no, I think we covered all of that.
It's good stuff for people to know. So I love educational content like this, because if somebody watches this all the way through, they just got a really great DeFi education on some of the things that we deal with every day working out here. And that oftentimes individuals and participants in DeFi will run into and could potentially get hurt by. So it's good for them to learn that these risks exist, how to analyze them, and how to navigate those situations. And it's cool that you guys are proposing different solutions here, that these individuals can apply those same techniques to analyze this opportunity and see if it makes sense for them and what level of transparency exists here with OrcaFi. I think I've got everything I need to know about each of the utilities you offer and the Orca. Is it the Orca token? Is that the actual name?
Yes, that's the name.
Orca token. Okay. So with everything we just covered, in your opinions, if an opportunist like me is out here trying to make a buck, what would you say, in your opinion, is the best strategy for doing that if you were to be looking at this for the first time?
Obviously, we have a range of strategies from the yield farming for the more passive side. I mean, actually, it's all essentially passive, other than the perpetual trading itself. It depends on what you're looking to do. Do you want a more liquid asset? Are you looking for capital gains on your asset, kind of the appreciation and value? Because if you're looking for something where you can get cash flow and appreciation over time, then you have something like the Orca token. It might not necessarily go up. I'm just saying that it could just go down, to be all honest. But it is going to be a cash flow based token. So I don't see that going downwards on a downwards trajectory just because of the value you're going to get from holding that token alone. If it does go down, I'll probably scoop up some more myself, just because I know that the overall benefits of the platform anyway. So you have that. But then, if you just want purely liquid, you just want to put your capital in for a little bit, you don't want to get tied into anything. You have the yield farming opportunities, or even staking. If you've just got Ethereum lying about that you want to stake, put them into, doing, just combine them and get involved with some staking. Yes, the rewards are a little bit lower, but that's there. It's Ethereum. It's not going to change. You're not going to lose it. It's just going to likely, I hope, go up in value over the next few years anyway. So I think for our platform, we've got a wide range of options, and it all depends on your overall risk tolerance. I think I'm a more lower risk kind of person nowadays. So I like spreading myself across multiple things, just diversifying, because then, not everything has a good month, not everything has a bad month. So if you diversify across, across yield farming, staking, trading, the Orca token, you've got yourself a very healthy basket of opportunities. Gather you've got platform fees coming back in, you can have some yield farming fees coming back in, and profit you can claim for that, DeFi trading fees, or profits or losses if you have a bad month of that. But that's why I think it's always good to have a balanced basket. I don't think you should ever just focus on one thing. I think you just need to diversify.
Yeah, I completely agree. And there are a lot of different strategies here because you have so many different features and ways to potentially make money, aside from the convenience of all of the cool utilities and new features you're bringing to the DeFi space. I had a few more questions very quickly about Orca token. I know you're going to be releasing a white paper with the tokenomics. Is this a max supply token? Is there a hard cap on the supply?
There will be a hard cap on it.
All right, great. So will there be an emission schedule for the Orca staking pool that emits additional Orca tokens? Will there be a schedule for those emissions?
Yes, there will be. And there will be also a kind of a vesting period on the Orca tokens as well that I bought through kind of a small private sale and then a pre-sale as well. So it'll be going through that. So there will be vesting on top of that, which helps, I guess, the overall sell pressure on the token as it comes out to the public view.
That is good to know. And that was a question I had with the pre-sale. If there's a private sale, if there's vesting on those tokens to prevent like an immediate dump at launch on the public sale. So good. Glad to hear that. That's a best practice in my opinion. And then you'll have a controlled emission schedule. Yeah, I think that covers everything. And then hopefully, and then I'm guessing your strategy, and which will become the DAO's strategy long-term, is to generate more fees from all these utilities that support the Orca token to generate more fees than would outpace the emissions rate for those staked Orca tokens. And then once it hits its max supply hard cap, then at that point, it's essentially there's no more inflation on the Orca token at that point on the supply. So then any value being added to the Orca token from those fees should hopefully just force appreciate the dollar value of the Orca token. Did I explain that correctly?
Yeah, no, effectively, yes. Now, the rewards pool through that staking mechanism does have, this is just an example because it's not completely finalized, but say there's 100,000 Orca tokens in the rewards pool. If you're staking, we're doing kind of an epoch basis. So, 1% of that pool is distributed through the stakers on this month. Then the next month is 1% of what's remaining in that pool, which would be 99,000. And you can see it kind of almost the emissions gradually decrease over time. But one thing we're just finishing off is an actual kind of a bit of a buyback mechanism as a price supporter for the Orca token. So with an allocation of those fees dedicated back to buying back the tokens to kind of refill that rewards pool as well, just which further incentivizes the overall community to get involved with locking up their tokens and staking.
I like that. So a portion of the fees will go to buybacks to refill the staking pool. So that way there is still incentive, even if that hard cap is hit in a couple years or something, there will be recycling of that. So people who sell out those tokens will be available to long-term holders and people staking and believing in the token. Cool. I love it. Will there be any deflationary mechanisms like a buyback and burn, or will it just be strictly portion of the fees going to buying back the tokens, putting it in a treasury or right back into the rewards pool? And then also the monthly distributions and reflections. Is there any other kind of deflationary mechanism in there?
Yeah, so with that rewards pool, the buyback mechanism. So what we're looking actually to do is let the community and the DAO vote on, this month we purchased back $50,000 worth of Orca token. Where do you want to put it? Where do you want to allocate it? Do you want to put some in the rewards pool? Do you want to burn some? What would you guys like to do? So essentially it's going to be put back to the community so people can actually make a choice, as a DAO. It's the DAO's choice. It's not ours. So that way it allows, everyone thinking, okay, the rewards pool is getting a little bit low. Let's top it up. Or actually, let's reduce the supply. We want to basically get rid of as much as possible just to help the overall price appreciation. So there's a good range of options and opportunities for the DAO to vote upon and discuss.
Awesome. So you're going to have votes on what to do in terms of supporting Orca token and rewarding the holders of that. And it's going to be voted on through the DAO. Awesome. I love it. It's a cool ecosystem here. I think we covered everything with the information available to me leading up to this. I think we really hammered down into every single part of this. Can you guys think of anything else that we may have missed?
No, I think we've covered everything. Again, I just think I'd say is if you haven't already, make sure you follow at the OrcaFi on X, just to be able to check out our latest updates and all of our announcements on there.
All right, and I'll put that link in the description.
Perfect.
Everybody who's watching, thank you so much for your time, and hit that like button. And if you have any questions, leave a comment or reach out to me. And subscribe to the channel and smash that notification bell if you haven't already. Sam, Adam, it is always a pleasure, my friends, to sit down and talk code and tech and DeFi with you guys. This is a lot of fun, and I'm really excited to see what you do with OrcaFi.
Thank you very much for having us on. Always a pleasure.
Thank you.
My pleasure, guys. And I'll talk with you guys soon, all right? And everybody watching, make sure to hop into the YaBonks Discord server as well, discord.gg/YaBonks. You'll be able to find these two in there, and I will have an OrcaFi channel with links and information as well. And you can always DM me if you have any questions. Thank you, everybody, for watching, I will see you all on the next one. Thanks, guys.